Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to round 4 of the IRPAS GT3 series. Tonight we come at you live from the virtual rolling hills of Tuscany up here at Italy for circuit Mugello here. That's the enough of that track name as you're going to get from me here. Today's race, we are set for 45 minutes of both Pro-Am and GT3 racing action here. Drivers just now finishing up qualifying laps. Welcome in, everybody. This is going to be a great, fun race to watch here. Looks like Harry Price, he was fast in practice as well as fast in qualifying. Real quick before we get started here, we'll take a look at the race info here tonight. Very good day to be racing here up in Italy. It's a 5.19 kilometer circuit, temperature ranging in the 24 degrees Celsius. Sitting at an altitude of 280 meters here, track temp 23 degrees Celsius. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers here on Stam Studio Network. Be sure to tell your neighbor, tell your grandma, tell your kitty cat as well. We get these drivers' engines fired up here, and we're going to continue to work our way to 1,000 subs here on Stam Studio Network. Alrighty, welcome back in here. We'll take a look at the starting grid. Looks like we have a whole pace lap here to try and work these newer revamped GT3 tires in here. Looks like I said it earlier, Harry Price, he was very fast in practice. He'll be fast in qualifying here tonight. Harry's going to slap it up there on the pole with a, with a 146.557. That is flying around Mugello in a GT3 car. How about Tim Reed? Both drivers out of Clark St. James Motorsports continuing to really show some nice pace here in the IRPAS series. Tim Reed, driver 155. He'll start that front series of the second row. Jeremy Jukic, Alexander Keller there. Alexander, he's finally back out here on the track. He'll make up the second running spot in the outside row of row number 2. John Jennings, how about it? Really nice qualifying effort here for John. He'll start 5th. Got Federico Del Toro there, Samuel Cruz. That's Shane Wills, Mauricio M. Ramos there, Michael Zygmunt, Juan Tavers, and Marco Gelli, as well as Lee West, Miguel, as Tyler Reed and Mark Bray round out the field here tonight. All right, I'll be honest with you right off rip here. You got to give it to me, or you don't have to give me anything, excuse me. I personally have never turned a track here at Mugello Circuit, so I know that this place, it is fast, it is flowy. I was watching practice there, pretty good. Saw some nice running there within practice, some very quick lap times. Here we go, we're gonna have to see after this very long pace lap who is able to take it to the field here tonight, as we've waited a whole another week for the International Pro-Am Racing Series here out of Fendi Racing. There, John Jennings, it's got that Evaz Designs, very vibrant. Number 17, McLaren GT3. I believe John Jennings might have to be a driver we keep an eye on here today, especially on this race start heading into turn 1. Well, not really turn 1, it's gonna be in really turn 3, 4, and 5 that we can catch up there after that, because we do have that orange flag condition into turns number 1 and 2. These drivers, they put in enough time, practice, and effort here throughout the whole week to get Mugello down. We just don't want that to go all out the window here within the first few turns. Welcome back in, everybody. We are just about to get things going off here. We already have YouTube land popping off saying, oh, we got Fendi Racing in here. I believe that's Dan. He's not able to make it out here to the track tonight, but he will make it into our virtual broadcast here of the race. Looks like Alexander Keller, that is another driver who I believe we're going to have to keep an eye on. Alexander, he is, I believe, missed the last 2 races for IRPAS. He's here to show tonight that he is not one to mess around. That number 73 had some nice practice pace, qualifying just about a couple tenths of a second there back behind Harry Price and Tim Reed. 2 Clark St. James Motorsports drivers making up the front row. as we will get a green flag here in just a few moments time. Remember, this is Pro-Am racing here today, 2 different classes on the track at the same time. But we have seen some quite frankly, and some really nice and clean battles of both classes, both Pro and Am, throughout this GT3 series. So, excuse me, the season of this GT3 series. It's going to be a fun race to watch. Welcome in, everybody. I just got to remind you, if you're just now joining in the vertical broadcast, make sure you mosey your way on over to the horizontal broadcast. That's just for any YouTube Shorts users out there. And then, well, if you're already here, make sure you bump the quality up. You can do that by hitting the little gear icon in the top right or bottom right of your screen. Bump that up to 1440p, 60 FPS here tonight. You're not going to want to miss a thing here as the iRacing safety pace car, just a couple turns here, going to dive it into the safety of pit lane. Price, he was only 0.03 seconds faster than his teammate in practice. Will we see these two Clark St. James Motorsports drivers continue to take it through the field, or will it be a newer driver to take it up here through the front of the pack? That's where I'm looking. Jeremy Jukic, Alexander Kjaller there, as well as John Jennings. All of these pro drivers that making up the top 5 rows. Then Federico Del Toro, he'll start here P5. He is our front Am runner here. Right there, I believe that'll be Shane Wills, Mauricio M. Ramos there, starting in the 2nd and 3rd Am class here. Only 13 incidents to work with here tonight. So these drivers, you got to keep the argy-bargy to a minimum here, especially within our orange flag zone. And to lap 1, turn 1 of the race. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the IRPAS race number 4 here live at Mugello Circuit. Get up, stand up for your life, don't give up the fight as we are green flag racing up in Italy. Shane Wells, he's going to try and make it the inside line here. Look at the single file starting to ensue up until here. Looks like Jeremy Jukic, he's going to make a spot earlier on down the inside line. That orange flag, that doesn't mean you can't try to pass. It just means you better do it cleanly. This is the tough chicane here into turn number 1. Federico Del Toro, he's going to run a little wide there. Samuel Cruz, that BWT racing machine, he'll run off the rumble strips. Samuel barely misses a spinning. No, that's Alexander Kjaller there, one of our drivers to watch earlier on. He no longer has a wing. We'll take a look. Oh man, that whole back half of the race car there, whole rear clip is now off of Alexander Kjaller's machine. We'll take a replay of it here in just a few moments time as the battle up here for the race lead continues to really settle into place here. 0.2 of a second separating teammates. Here comes Jeremy Jukic, John Jennings, Shane Wells looking to join the battle as well. Michael W. has joined us here tonight. So has Terry. Welcome in, welcome in. Let me know if audio levels are leveling it out here tonight. Federico Del Toro, he had a real nice race start. He's continuing to run right where he started. Shane Wells, speaking of race start, Shane gained 3 spots on that one. And oh man, this Fendi 283 driver looking to continue to put some real nice pace down after he was really, he was looking for some pace in qualifying. Samuel Cruz, after putting some mustard on the outside sausage strip there, heading into turns 3 and 4 on lap number 1. He somehow is going to live to fight another day. Here comes Mauricio Ramos. Don't look now, but this battle's starting to heat up and broil here behind him. This is only going to come in complete lap 1. We're going to get a little flashy of the headlights there. I believe that's out of Marco Gelli, Juan Tavares, Marco Gelli right up there out in front. This battle for the AM category is really starting to heat up here. Miguel, as well as Tyler Reed, starting to lurk in the distance as well. Operation Motorsports, he runs a little bit wide. No harm, no foul, except for a little bit of pace. Here comes some more side by side. Juan Tavares, Miguel continuing. Oh my goodness gracious. Talk about sausage curbs. Talk about rumble strips. Man, oh man. That's looked like Juan there, I think. No, that was Marco who needed some sausage there. All right, real quick, we'll take a look and see what happened to Alexander on this race start here. It really, I think it was his own doing. Yeah, he's going to try and set up turns 4 and 5 coming to here. Tries to get on the throttle a little bit too soon. Locks the brakes down, but no, he's in a bad spot. And then, oh, Samuel Cruz, that'll be an interesting driver to hop on board with as he barely missed him, but he scrapes that rear wing just enough to where it really popped it right at the rear end of Alexander's. Where do I go? Dunk. I don't even think that's a 4. It might be a 4X, but normally things get a little bit less constitutes a 4X than compared to that. Here we go, battle between Clark St. James Motorsports drivers number 14 and 155. Price continues to lead Reed, but for how long here? Reed starting to draw that bead on our race leader. Let's hop on board here. Go about for a little bit half of a lap here on board with Tim Reed. Super long straightaway here. I know that Formula One really hadn't run here except until COVID, and then up until before that, it was really just a test track here for Formula One teams, really Ferrari most commonly. But here, two Mercedes AMG drivers continuing to show that they have the pace. These GT3 machines, look at the quick left, and then switch right back to the right here. Another little short shoot of a long straightaway. This track is so fast with the speeds that even GT3 machines carry. Tim, he's going to have to struggle here as he continues to close the gap. Tim, he's losing upwards of 20 to 30% front downforce here as he tries to reel in the leader up there in front of him. You just don't have that clean air to work with there. It's a really dirty air at the rear end of that big old rear wing, as well as that big old rear diffuser of Harry Price up there in front. Really nice, tough technical track here, but it'll keep you guessing as a driver. Speaking of keep you guessing here, how about the Rubber Duck Racing number 36? He's got W energy up there in the front nose. He's driving like he's got some W energy in the bones here from Benicio Marquez Ramos. He continues to draw ever so closer for Federico Del Toro here. This is so cool here. This is why International Pro-Am Racer Series is one of the coolest series that are broadcast within the GT3 uniform. Well, between all the series that are broadcast here, we are working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, count them, 9 different nationalities racing with us here tonight, all around the world here. Their drivers continuing to show some really nice speed, some really nice pace. Quite frankly, some really nice racecraft up and down the field. Here's McGill starting to go at it here with Tyler Reed. Tyler, he's within the slipstream of draft here. Does he draw a bead? Will we see a move into the tough, treacherous turn 1? That Operation Motorsports driver, Tyler Reed, remember he finished, I think he swept our past 2 races there in the AM Series for the win there. That's Tyler. He makes the outside line work. Tyler has showed us he isn't scared to make it work, but with the longer way around the track, you have to, well, that's a little bit of a compromise you have to make. Looks like Miguel, he's going to take the shorter way around, but doesn't keep it close enough to make a move here. Real quick, we saw Alexander's incident earlier on in the race. Alexander continues to struggle as he really has no rear wing, no downforce, unless he has come for pit lane here. No, not quite, man. Alexander continues to put it, oh, where is it? Okay, there he is. No, okay, we gotta back this puppy up because, as I said, man, goodness gracious, it's already hard enough to drive one of these GT3 machines, let alone your rear toe is all out of whack. You don't have a rear diffuser. You don't have a rear wing to work with. Even though Alexander, he's one of our front leaders within the points here. Well, he was one of our front leaders until he had to take a couple races off here. Man, Alexander, you gotta feel a little bit for him there. A self-induced spin that unfortunately took him out earlier on in the race. Take a look at the old lap time history here between our 2 front runners. Look at old Harry Price, man. He's continuing to run orange. There is no green on the last lap times compared to our front runners. Oh, that is because, oh, I stand corrected. Okay, well, I'll say lap 4 that was. Harry's going to be 0.045 seconds of seconds faster there, excuse me. But Tim Reed, as he continues to draw the bead here for that race lead, for how long? If you're Price, do you continue to hold on here? Because we have seen time and time the speed, the pace, the racecraft between these 2 drivers. I believe, yes, there we do have it. We got Tim Reed, or live driver cam, right side of the screen. Jeremy Jukic, he continues to run 3rd overall. He is also live driver, left side of your screen. Jeremy, he's in a little bit of clean air by himself right here, starting to put some lap times down of his own. His last lap was a 1:46.96, only 0.3 of a second slower than our 2 front race runners are running. real quick. Here's some nice battles starting to heat up here between Michael Zygmunt as well as Samuel Cruz. Shane Wells is looking to join the battle as well. All three of these drivers continue to run up from where they started this race. So far, Michael, he's going to be our biggest mover of the race so far at gaining 5. But don't look now. Here comes Shane Wells. He's gained 1 spot. It was just 3 a few laps ago. He's continuing to build the pressure to Samuel Cruz's rear bumper. Here we go. Shane Wells, driver for Fendi Racing 283. He's another really clean, really a nice driver who has some also nice racecraft as well. He's going to continue to work within that slipstream and draft as well. Good. You can throw a blanket. Look at this. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right now, all within 3 to 5 tenths of a second from one another. That Porsche, is that Michael? Okay, well, Michael, I was going to say you better run, you better hide. He's doing it right now after gaining, once again, 5 spots since the drop of the green here tonight. But as Samuel continues to draw a little bit closer to that rear bumper here. Ooh, I thought that was going to be Mauricio makes a move into turn 1. Remember, we saw this last lap for, I believe that was Tyler Reed down the outside. We're going to see the same sort of lap ran there. Yep, there you see it, Mauricio. He's going to make the outside transition back into the inside, and then you see it's, well, it's a back and forth, cat and mouse. Even the different lines that you're able to run here tonight. Mauricio, nice pass there. Door quarter clear. He gains a spot from where he started. He'll gain up to V8. Tyler Reed is also starting to really draw closer to Juan Tavares here up in front of him. Juan continuing to run where he started, but if you're just now joining us, well, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you're in the vertical broadcast, make sure you mosey your way on over to horizontal. And lastly, that being said, make sure you bump the quality of this broadcast here tonight. 1440p, 60 frames per second, as we can see the whites of these drivers' eyeballs head down the old Mugello circuit here tonight from northern Italy, I believe. And Tyler Reed continues to have a real nice season. Remember, he was our race winner last week from Brands Hatch. I believe that was Tom Duran there who ran P2 to Tyler Reed there just a week ago, but fortunately I don't think Tom's able to make it out to the track here tonight. Man, Juan, I believe this is a newer driver. Juan, we appreciate you making it out here to the IRPAS Racing, I just call it the IRPAS Series. There's doubling it up. Juan, he continues to show a real nice run here. Driver 16 out of the Dominican Republic. Remember, this is 9 different nations that are represented here for our Pro-Am Racing Series tonight. Well, there you see, left side of your screen. That's a lot of green. As lap times continue to drop, as tires continue to heat up and get within optimal racing optimal pressures, optimal tire temps as well. These lap times are continuing to drop off, as well as with the fuel continuing to burn off these GT3s as well. Speaking of fuel, it'll be interesting to see, will we see a pit stop here tonight? I believe we are running limited fuel, so it'll be interesting to see if any driver tries to make a little bit of a shortcut work, if a driver makes a long cut work, or if a driver even possibly, yes, I've done it before, forgets to check their tires, and they're one too many times. Real quick, I appreciate everybody joining in here, Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam. As this battle for the lead continues to run at about 6 cents of a second here, go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds here from Mugello, Italy. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. you might want to crank this puppy down before I start to get a little too excited up here in the booth here. Battles continuing to ensue all over the racetrack, as well as up here for the race lead. Two Clark St. James Motorsport drivers continuing to put the just put the field to really wake them up here tonight. 6.2 seconds back there to Jeremy Jukic, and that's, I believe, AM points leader there, Jeremy. He's continuing to have an immaculate season for driver number 28. We see you down there, Terry. We see you, Lumet 91. Appreciate Michael, Ted, as man, we got old YouTube land popping off here tonight. Appreciate that, everybody. That's really what keeps me going there behind the scenes. What else keeps me going behind the scenes is some real nice racing. Continuing to see it on here out here on track. Two pros continuing to go at it for 5th and 6th. This is within the class here. Jeremy Jukic, after continuing to work his way through the field. That's going to be AM driver who runs 3rd but leads in the AM class, and then Shane Wells runs 2nd in AM, all the way back in 7th overall. Michael Zugmont, he continues to try to run away from that hard-charging Samuel Cruz, but I think Samuel right now, he's a shark that smells blood in the water. My goodness gracious, lap after lap after lap, continuing to hound Michael up here. Goodness, 15.5 minutes down out of this 45-minute race. Does Samuel Cruz have a move here for Michael Zugmont's rear bumper, or does Michael continue to put some really World Cup-esque defense over the front bumper of our one and only Lambo GT3 here tonight at driver 25, Samuel Cruz? Tyler Reed, Juan Tavares continuing to battle this out for 11th and 12th within the AM category here. Juan, that's another newer name. You talked about him earlier, and that's got to shout him out here. Driver number 16 out of the DR. Continuing to show some real nice pace even within the AM class here. We have iRating ranges all the way up from 3,000 all the way to I think some 6 and some 700s in the AM. So, I mean, with that being said, we continue to see some immaculate pace here. Drivers that have put practice laps down for the whole week in and week out here. Really, everybody continues to show some real nice pace here out on track. Also, some really nice battles here. This is it once again here. Samuel Cruz, he really just can't quite find a way out of Michael Zugmont's rear end just yet here. Will we see a move? If it's going to be done, it's got to be, I think, cameraman, look out. I think it's got to be possibly turn 1, even on the exit of turn 2, or like we've seen, if you can make that outside switch back into the inside there in turn number 3, that'd be another great passing opportunity here. Oh boy, I'm starting to sweat up here in the booth. Battles continuing to ramp up here. We saw, even on that green flag the drop of the green flag for the race here. We'll take a look at the race replay for anybody that's just now joining in here. It was a really nice, clean, and cordial start here. We did have that orange flag zone into turn 1. That really kept our drivers cool, calm, and collected, I do believe, is something that we continue to see within the IRPAS Racing Series. So everything was a-okay up here out front until right about now, man. Alexander just tries to carry a little bit too much speed, gets on the throttle a little bit too quick there, and Sam just a slight nudge. That's all it takes to take off that rear wing. Once again, you got to feel bad for Alexander as he had waited, I believe, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I do believe, here to get back out on track here. Had some real nice pace in practice and qualifying. Look at Jeremy Jukic. My goodness, reflexes of a cat there. Driver, the 28 NSX machine, and then, oh, that's not even contact with it. We pull out the old forklift beep here. I think that's got to be net code, right? Look at that. I mean, Samuel, he didn't even make contact with it. It popped off. Yeah, Lumen, I appreciate you joining in here. Daniel, hopefully that you are feeling a-okay and you're ready for some, where are we at? Where we at? Yeah, Vegas tomorrow there, the Dan Weldon Memorial. That'll be not only a big shout out to big racing god there, but that'll also be a fun race to produce and commentate on. Believe Marvin Samayoa will be up in the booth with me for that one. That'll be a lot of fun. For those of you that are some oval racing fans there, be sure that you hit us up there tomorrow night, 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time there. Overdrive Cup Series so far really started the season out pretty well. It's been a lot of fun to produce, commentate it, and well, it's also when it's ran with a man or ran by a man like Daniel, that continues to make things easier, excuse me, on my end. You know, we got another Daniel who runs another league. He runs this league, and it's Dan Findy. Dan, unfortunately, not able to make it out there to the track tonight, but we continue to see him brewing up, showing in the old YouTube chats here. You know what else is brewing and showing up here? Battling Samuel Cruz. Does he finally make this move here into turn number 1, 2, and 3? Remember, it's that left on the outside, but you can switch it back if you're able to hold it on that inside line. Doesn't quite look like it here. You can't fault Samuel Cruz for it, though. He lives to fight another day. But I mean, for how long does Samuel Cruz continue to fight this before he says, all right, Michael, I mean, I'm losing time over here to John Jennings. We both have places to be, but we're both respectfully, I mean, drivers beat my lap time by 20 seconds here. Both Michael and Samuel continuing to show the real nice pace, the racecraft, and the speed from Mugello Circuit. Battles kind of back and forth up here. This is also Mauricio Marquez Ramos. Remember, talked about him not once, not twice, but this will be the thrice time here tonight. Mauricio starts to try and draw that bead on Shane Wills. Now that he's done it, I mean, he's definitely there. The only Audi GT3 here for Shane Wills. That's really not much of a sight that we see within the GT3 series too much in iRacing anymore. But Shane Wills, he's put some nice pace underneath the wheels of him. But better run, you better hide, because here comes Federico Toro as well. Driver number 97, Porsche 911. This was my favorite GT3 to run before the tires just got completely revamped here. It used to be a stable machine, I do believe, this little mid-engine machine, but not really anymore here with this new tire update. Federico, he's looking like he's going to tell me, no, not quite just yet there. Federico putting down a really nice last lap of I think that was a 146.4. Keep it up, Federico, keep it up. Michael Zygmunt continues to keep up the defense. Does Samuel Cruz have it this time by, he's gonna dive it a little bit deeper, but once again, just not able to get that Lambo to rotate there. Doesn't have the speed off the corner entry and exit to keep it on the inside there of Michael Zygmunt. Battle here of Tyler Reed and, Juan Tavares continuing to go nose to tail here. Same sets of corners, same set of stories here. Tyler Reed's really not able to make that inside line work either. You know, starting to try and work his way through the pack here as Alexander finally did have to bite the bullet and come into pit lane. Take one of the faster pairs here, or let's see, what lap? Oh, okay, Alexander did come in and pit lap 1 after the incident. So it'll be interesting to see once again with these restricted fuel tanks if Alexander does have to make another pit stop here tonight, because if so, it'll be definitely race ending. But as he continues to now work his way around Marco, Lee West is next on the sights there. Shorts 21 seconds up there, 20 seconds up above. As I start to talk about some strategy calls here tonight's race leader, Harry Price is in. You know who is not though? Tim Reed is going to make one more lap. All right, this will be an interesting thing here once Harry Price does make his pit stop. Let's see here. We'll count it out. Okay, come on. That's about we're working with about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds here in the pits. You saw the invisible air jacks did not get deployed, so Harry definitely left his tires unchecked. Very nice pit stop there. He did not go too deep. He didn't have to catch neutral back into reverse. Harry already down and off of pit lane as AM drivers still making their way by. Harry will drop back to P8, but that's going to leave this whole field that needs to cycle down, out, and around. Tim Reed, he'll lead this lap. He should be coming into pits also at the end of this lap, as Jeremy Jukic, AM driver, is going to try to run this Tim Reed strategy as well. Our 2 live driver cameras here tonight. Very similar setups here on the old real-life racing world there for both Jeremy and Tim Reed. Triple monitors going. Got what looks to be the GT3 style wheel, as well as the 4th monitor up there up top. You see Tim has the old Discord deployed on his. I think Jeremy's just got the old flashbang up there on the top screen. Anyways. Man, oh man, this is going to continue to get good here. He's going, oh, Tim, he's going to actually run another lap on this strategy. I didn't think he'd have enough fuel to do it. So is Jeremy Jukic as well. So both of our drivers that were running 2nd and 3rd overall. Jeremy Jukic continuing to lead in the AM category. He's going to continue to run on the same strategy as our pro race leader. Next AM driver back is, of course, the one, the only Audi GT3 machine out here, driver 99, Shane Wells. Shane, real quick here, as it looks like you still haven't pits as well. Oh, as well, yep, no pun intended. Shane, I appreciate all that you do there for the Fendi Racing server back there behind the scenes, and just a great guy, great guy, great driver as well. Shane, appreciate that, and keep up the great work, man. Don't mean to single you out, all of these drivers here, everything, it's kind of teamwork making the dream work happen here behind the scenes for Fendi Racing IRPAS series. Lots of these drivers not only, spend time on the racetrack with one another, but we're making paint schemes with one another. We're having conversations down and past midnight, burning the midnight oil within the old Discord servers. As well as, I believe, speaking of burning the midnight oil, John Jennings, it's got to be close to almost midnight down there for the land down under. John, that's another driver who we have to really shout out and appreciate all their hard work there behind the scenes for the Fendi Racing server. John, keeping up his nice run here tonight, but right now, remember, the top 7 drivers are still needing to pit. So is Lee West, I do believe, down there in 9th. Lee, he's having himself a pretty nice, calm, cool, and collected day here today. Should be coming into pit this time for, ooh, that could possibly be a paint scheme of the race. We got some orange transitioning into pink, and then back there, baby blue on the rear bumper. Lee West, I'm liking the paint scheme here tonight. I'm also, I'm liking the McLaren, the revamped McLaren for this GT3 series. Speaking of McLaren, well, now that John Jennings is continuing to run the long strategy here tonight after Tim Reed, race leader, as well as race leader in the AM category, Jeremy Jukic coming into pits. That should be... Oh, excuse me. That's that's the McLaren GT3, as well as Lee West and Mauricio, who all make up 1st, 9th, and 11th. The reason I was kind of stumbling over there, man, I'm seeing something new within the timing and scorings graphics. Take a look at who's running in 14th. This is Miguel here. Miguel, I'm showing a black flag for this driver, whether it is for incidents or, well, it's got to be for incidents because it doesn't look like too much damage. Let's see here. Okay, well, let's not. I'll take that one back here because I don't know why else it would show, unless he was speeding going into the pit lane, speeding going out of pit lane, or he made a there's a pit lane commitment cone that you have to hit on both pit entry and exit here. This should be just a quick drive-through penalty here for Miguel. Hop on board with him here. Yep, he's got the pit speed limits are on. This is something that is not prevalent, of course, within NASCAR racing here. So I kind of like it. I don't like having a pit speed limiter. You can push it when you want to, and then right before you get that drive-through penalty, just like we did see Miguel. It was either, once again, for speeding, or right here, you're going to see a pit commitment cone there. Boonk. That's probably most likely what it was, is Miguel, he tried to cut to the left of the track there because you have to try to open up turns 2 and 3. Possibly he did it just a little bit too early before that pit exit commitment cone there. So we'll have to see where things continue to run and cycle out here too. Is Shane Wells continuing, opting not to pit? Oh no! That's the Porsche 911, Michael Zugmats there. Michael, he's got the invisible air jacks rocking. It might be, okay, that was a faster stop than I thought, whether it was 2-tire stop or what, but let's see here. According to the pit stopwatch here, we'll have to see as Michael crosses the line. That was a 44. That was a 44-second stop there, and driver Federico, who I don't believe got up on the invisible air jacks, he's gonna have a 46-second stop. Okay, that's interesting. So whether it's a little bit more fuel and going into the fuel tank, or whether it's, I mean, there's so many different factors here as we're going to continue to look at some nice racing action side by side between Alexander as well as, I believe that was, yep, Alexander and Medicio. Alexander, remember, he pit on lap 1, so he's got a little bit more fuel in the fuel tank than does Shane Wells, our race leader, our overall race leader right now. But remember, these two drivers will still have to come into pit at least one more time within 15 minutes left in this race. Unless Shane has the chassis bars here filled up to the brim with Sunoco fuel. Yes, the chassis bars. That could be an iRacing setup little hack there. I think that's got to be, somebody's had to think of that before in real life racing. Anyways, that would be a complete fireball if you ended up into a wall though. So Shane Wells, he's going to end up on the old the legal side here tonight. He's going to dive it into pit lane this time by hard onto the brakes, 60 kilometers an hour there into pits. Running 59 with the pit speed limiter on. We'll have to see if Shane Wells opts to take any invisible air jacks, any tire stops here tonight, or if he'll just bump this puppy up with race fuel and have enough to get to the end of the race. Looks like he'll opt to keep that number 99 down there glued to the race floor. John Jennings, Jeremy Jukich continue to run 3rd and 4th right here on track as things are just about going to now cycle out. So after pit stops here, Harry Price is going to continue to retain the race lead over Tim Reed. Tim now 1.7 seconds back, so things are continuing to run still pretty cool, calm, and collected through the pack here. Really no sorts of big incidents, no big contact here with with one or more drivers involved in an incident. Goodness gracious, how about this 5th and 6th? Remember Michael, man, he's continuing to hold off that hard charging Samuel Wells, and I don't know if Samuel, I mean, he has had enough patience. He's had 32 minutes of patience, matter of fact, but I can tell you, if he's able to somehow get beside this Porsche 911 and start to feel the clean air, I do believe we'd start to see Samuel pull a little bit of a gap here. But man, the speeds are pretty killer here from Mugello, Italy. The turns are so fast and flowy, there's really not too much passing zones, or passing opportunities that you can make without getting a little bit of argy-bargy and some beating and some banging, some leaning on one another. Continue to see some real nice clean racing for these two drivers. Samuel Cruz, Michael Zugmot continuing to run nose to tail. For the final time here tonight, go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds of these GT3 Pro-Am machines ripping around Mugello Circuit. My name is Sean Sam up here, Sam Studio Network, producing, directing, and commentating. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Final warning, go ahead, crank this puppy down because we are getting to the final 10 minutes here in the race. What a move for Shane Wells and Mauricio Marquez Ramos. I mean, putting the IRPAS racing display here on at full scale tonight for the fans, as well as me up here in the booth. Appreciate you all joining in here live, Stam Studio Network. We are witnessing a commanding lead here for both Clark St. James Motorsport drivers of Harry Price and Tim Reed, both Mercedes AMGs leading here the pro category. But don't look now, John Jennings, the man from the land down under, he makes his way up to the third running position here. Jeremy Jukic, after the pit stop strategies, he'll fall back to the overall fourth running position, but you can't count him out here. Jeremy Jukic continuing to lead the AM points as well as the AM category here tonight. He has a 10-second gap over another pro driver. That's going to be Michael Zygmunt as well as Samuel Cruz. Remember, these two drivers continue to run front bumper to rear diffuser earlier on in the race. Well, it looks like Samuel, he may have slipped up at some point here. Back to the battle that we were watching for the majority of Crank It's Up. That Audi GT3 and the McLaren number 36 GT3 for Rubber Duck Racing. Mauricio Marquez Ramos, he's going to have a little run here coming out of turn, I believe 13, 14, and 15 we're coming to here. Nope, excuse me, I think there's 1 and 2 actually. Mauricio, he's going to try, get his foot back into gas, drop a gear and disappear. Up into fourth gear, finds himself now, drops it to third. You get those right side tires all across the rumble strips here. No sausage curves within this this portion of the track that Mauricio has to worry about. Shane Wells, nice pass there. He's gonna work that gap up to 0.4 of a second, as I am showing. That could be why Samuel Cruz dropped back a little bit on pace. I'm showing a drive-through penalty right now, black flag for the Lamborghini GT3 25. Ooh, okay. I gotta be careful how I see this and call this here, because Harry Price, with his flashy McFlashers on, he's going to let Tim Reed by here. Tim Reed to the race lead. What just happened? I'm not showing Tim Reed having any sort of damage or anything whatsoever. Okay, we'll see you at Long Beach next week. That's, yeah, there you go. I just took a glance at all YouTube. Yeah, I see Dan Terry all popping off here tonight. Yeah, let's see real quick, though, what happened with Tim and Harry Price here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Harry just way off the pace. If we have the front view of that, yeah, still got the old flashy lights on there. He's going to keep the gap at about 2 seconds. I wonder if this is kind of like Formula One race principle action here happening here tonight. These drivers, they're not only making calculated moves here down to the centimeter, down to the millimeter from Mugello circuit, but they have a little bit of an idea on how the old point standings are running here. Harry Price, after letting Tim Reed, he's going to fall back, Tim Reed by to take away the race lead. Harry's going to fall back to P2. John Jennings continues to run third place at about the same sort of gap that he has had from Tim Reed earlier on in the race, about 11 seconds separating these two. Right now, this is our closest battle on this track right now. John Jennings trying to hold off that AM leading driver of Jeremy Jukic as we continue to crest our way to about 6, coming to 5 minutes till that white and checkered flag. I know that Jeremy, he's going to continue to fight it out here, but I almost wonder at what point do you sort of back her down here for Jeremy continuing to lead in the AM category. Doesn't want anything to happen there to that race lead. I don't want to also give it the old Sean and Tater curse, so maybe it's just best that we'll cut to the old Michael Zygmunt here, continuing to work his way up as our biggest race mover here. 5 spots gained since the drop of the green. How about it? Pro driver continues to run at P5 spot. Another AM driver. The next one back, it's going to be Shane Wells. He is starting to be joined with Mauricio Marquez Ramos right there behind after making a nice pass a couple laps ago. Shane Wells up to P6. Driver 99 looking really, really good here tonight. You know who else is looking real good? Federico Del Toro, Marco Gelli, as well as Samuel Cruz. Unfortunately, though, if you're a Cruz fan here tonight, Samuel did have to make that drive-through penalty last lap by, I believe that was for too many incidents for driver number 25. Oh no, Lee West has gone around. I think we have a replay of it here. Looks cool, calm and collected, really running by himself right here. So look, if it's anything, tried to save it, just a slight tap to that inside tire barrier. Even a tap like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is enough to really bend that front toe link and suspension. There you see it. That front left has definitely seen better days. We'll take one more look at it here. Right at the switchback portion of the chicane there, where all your weight and G's transfer from the left going back into the right. Unfortunately, whether it was contact, too much mustard on the sausage curb, or whatever it was there into that front chicane, unfortunately, that's going to hurt Lee West's pace here, as he's actually had a really nice run tonight. He wasn't feeling too comfortable with the car in practice, but he finds himself up to 13, continuing to run where he started, but 2.6 seconds behind him and continuing to close that gap is Miguel, 13th and 14th. Right now we're looking at the driver of John Jennings and Jeremy Jukic here, continuing to fight it out here for the final running spot of the podium finishers here tonight for the overall as well as the pro class. Yeah, Michael, you're right. That's what I was saying there. Harry Price, just 2 laps ago, if you're just now joining us, Harry Price, he was leading, but that's what I was... Harry Price, he pulled off to the track there and let Tim Reed by to the race lead. And with only, about 3 minutes to go here, sure, Harry, he's reeled him back in here once again, but even after giving away the race lead, 2 teammates continuing to run nose to tail here. 13 and a half seconds back there to John Jennings, the next driver. I wouldn't doubt that these 2 drivers are trying to make the white and checkered flag here tonight. Rubber Duck Racing, Mauricio Marquez Ramos, a driver. It's a little bit of some side-by-side earlier on in the race. We saw some not even beating and banging. There was so much room left between the drivers. But Mauricio, he's going to continue to have a real nice night here tonight. He sits up 2 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. One of 3 McLaren GT3s finds himself up to P7, trying to hound Shane Wells' rear bumper and rear diffuser for that 6th spot. Here comes Miguel after Alexander's front damage to the nose there after he went off Excuse me, that was Lee West who went off track here. Lee's going to have to continue to try and fight off Alexander as well as Miguel, trying to hold him off here, coming to the white flag lap this time by from Mugello. Really, the damage doesn't look too bad. It seems to be more cosmetic than anything, but taking a look at the lap time history, especially since after it's happened, yeah, how about that, man? Alexander, that's a lot of green. Alexander continues to reel in that P13 gap here for Lee West. As we come down to approach the white in what should be the checkered flag this time by Tim Reed. He's got that gap. He's about 4 or 5 tenths of a second we're working with. Tim Reed, the real life driver cam, right side of your screen. He's looking to just to make this all official here tonight. 4 tenths of a second back to his teammate Harry Price. Will he have what it takes here tonight from Italy? Here we go. These front two runners, Clark St. James Motorsport drivers, just trying to make their way down and to the start-finish line before this race is called unofficially official here tonight. Speaking of unofficially official, how about it? They're going to do it. 2 Clark St. James Motorsport drivers. Tim Reed's going to come away with the checkered flag here tonight from Mugello Circuit. Harry Price, after giving away the win to his teammate, well, they're still going to make the 1-2 work here tonight. That is a screenshot and a half right there. Congratulations, gentlemen, on another 1-2 finish. Here it comes, John Jennings out here and across the hill. He'll take away at P3. Jeremy Jukic, how about it? He's going to continue to sweep the AM category. Jeremy's going to come away with AM category race win. Michael Zugmat is going to come away with P5. That'll be 4th in category, but how about Shane Wells? He'll come away with 2nd in the AM class. Shane out of Friendly Racing, 283. Congratulations on your podium finish in the AM class. Mauricio, he'll finish out P7 overall. There's Federico Del Toro. He'll make it out P8. Marco Gelli, Samuel Cruz, Tyler Reed, Juan Tavares, Alexander Hjaller after pitting on lap 1 after the turn 3 to 4 incident there on lap 1 of the race. He did not have enough fuel. He had to make another pit stop on lap 17 of the race. He did continue to work his way through the pack, but Alexander will bring it home 13th overall here tonight. Here comes Miguel. He's going to take that spot on the last lap here away from Lee West. Lee had that suspension damage after an incident there. 2 laps to go, coming to the green flag. Thank you all for joining here tonight with us on STAM Studio Network. Stick with us here as I get a few driver interviews here in place, and I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Actually, before that, we'll take a look at the official race results here tonight. It'll be Tim Reed once again after taking away the lead there from Harry Price. You could call it that. There are 3 laps to go, coming to the checkered flag. Tim Reed, congratulations. Harry Price, congratulations on both. Once again, 2 Clark St. James Motorsport drivers, another 1-2. John Jennings will round out 3rd running position. Jeremy Jukic, the AM win there. Michael Zugmat, he'll come up P5. Shane Wells, P6. That's P2 in the AM category. Mauricio Marquez Ramos, it's for Federico Del Toro, Marco Gelli, Samuel Cruz, Tyler Reed, Juan Tavares, Alexander Campbell, Hjaller there, Miguel, Lee West, and Mark Bray rounding out our 16 driver fields here tonight. Thank you all for joining here on SSN. I'll be right back with you up in the booth to bring you a driver interview or 2, and then I got to head out through the old Cotton Bowl Speedway, doing some driver interviews and some drone work out there for their broadcast tonight. I'll be right back with these drivers in just a few moments' time. Thanks, everybody. Alrighty, welcome back here, STAM Studio Network. How about it? What a race, what a finish. Tim Reed, this is Sean Stam up here in the booth. You got yourself a copy, man.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to figure things out here. What was going through your mind as you saw Harry Price? I'm sure you guys were talking about it on the comms, but what was going through your mind as you saw him slow up there and give you the race lead?
I don't know. I just sailed past and tipped my hat and said thank you very much. I'll take the points.
Well, rightfully so, man. Tim, you both had some very, very immaculate pace here tonight. Both shot out of a cannon after the race starts. Man, wow. This is not the first time we've seen you in the Mercedes-AMG GT3. Walk us through it, man. I mean, how gripped up is this car to the racetrack here? It just seems like it race in and race out no matter what kind of racetrack we go to.
Yeah, so this track felt really rubbered in, so it felt quite nice. Better than the practice sessions that I did previously. But the first couple of laps was good because it's a really long track, so you can really bleed your get on the brakes to get the temperature into the tires. So my tires were almost perfect coming into the T1, so I think that helped getting away from the pack.
Well, Tim, congratulations on your race win here tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or thank, or sort of makes this all possible for you?
Yeah, just the same as always. Every driver that turns up wouldn't have a league if folks don't turn up. So, yeah, cheers.
Thank you so much, Tim. Have a great rest of your night, man.
Cheers, thanks.
All right, the driver who led the most amount of laps here tonight, Harry Price. Got yourself a copy, man.
Hello, yeah, I'm happy with that. Wanted to help Tim out as much as I could. We both love it around here, to be fair. We started, I think it was Cup cars round here, and ever since then it's just been one of my favourite tracks. So yeah, good pace. As Tim said, it was rubbered in really well, which I've never actually on the open laps felt grip like it. So yeah, happy with that.
Man, excellent track conditions here tonight, and looks like, yeah, the fact that you both, Harry and Tim, both the first and second place winners here tonight, very happy with how the track was feeling. That's a great segue into the next question. I know I asked Tim the same thing, but Harry, how's the grip levels within, especially the Mercedes AMG, especially with how much, say, rubber you're saying was built up into the track?
I don't know, I haven't really drove the Merc a lot on iRacing. I'm mainly in the Porsche, but I wanted to try something different because our team was going all Merc. So I just give it a go, and I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's the front engine, but it feels brilliant. So yeah, couldn't recommend it enough. Give it a go.
Well, last question before we let you get going, Tim. Who are we thinking? Who makes this all possible for you, man?
I like to thank Clark St James, Sean, the team. We've got a really good thing going. And then shout out to my partner Belle who watched this, and my dog Barney. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, okay. Hang on here. One second. Oh boy. Okay, that's weird. Okay, anyways, we're going to cut down to John Jennings, our P3 driver in the pro category. John, how are you doing here tonight? Got yourself a copy?
I'm going really well, mate. Thank you.
Man, walk us through your race here tonight. Had a real nice start. Continue to slice and dice your way through the pack. You'll finish at final podium spot for pro class.
Mate, yeah, okay, it was great. Had a good start, as you said. Pushed a bit harder in quali this time. The grip level, as the other guys mentioned, was awesome. The McLaren just felt really solid. Mr. Jeremy, what can I say? What a brilliant racer. He took the lead in front of me, and we were a little bit off from the two guys in front, so we had our own race going. And I believe he made a mistake in the pit stop, which cost him a couple of seconds and allowed me to get through. That was basically the only difference between us. So yeah, it was a very, very tight race.
Well, John, a lot of fun to watch you battling out here on the track from Mugello Circuit. Is there anybody who you'd like to thank or sort of shout out who makes this all possible for you?
Yeah, a little bit of a different one. Tonight I want to thank the guys that joined practice sessions and like to gain some insights, and guys that are learning, they get in and ask questions and they get better, and it's what makes us a great league. Everyone gets in and has a go and helps each other, so that's a really good thing.
Man, I'm right there with you, John. The community that we have out at Fendi Racing, it's just, you can't beat it here, and I'm right there with you. It's practice sessions, it's hanging out there, it's so much of it. It's great friendships that can't be beat. And John, thank you once again for everything that you do here behind the scenes, and keep up your great work, man.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
John, have a great rest of your night. We're going to cut it down to Jeremy Jukas, winner in the AM category once again. Jeremy, welcome back here to Victory Lane. Oh.
He's muted. Jeremy?
Jeremy, no!
There we go.
There he is.
Sorry, yeah. This is my first AM win in the IRPAS series, and I'm stoked. Like John said, the practice sessions are a really great learning experience. The quick guys get in there, and while they're there, they'll let you tug on their ears and ask questions and give you pointers. Even if you're just watching their laps, it gives you a really good idea of what you can do to improve. I wouldn't be on pace with John if he didn't spend as much time in practice with me, and I wouldn't be chasing him around. So it is a really good group of guys we got here. They make you quicker. It is intimidating. There's a lot of pace out here, but it's attainable pace.
Well, Jeremy, apologies about that. Congratulations on your first AM win for the IRPAS GT3 series. Jeremy, man, you continue to show so much pace. You continue to show us how it is done, as well as in the old the point standings as well, man. Congratulations on your race win here tonight. Is there anybody who really comes to mind who you'd like to shout out or thank?
Yeah, first and foremost, I got to thank the wife and kids for letting me do this every week. I got to thank IRPAS, Fendi Racing. Dan is putting on an amazing organization here. Everybody that runs things behind the scenes keeps this show going. Thanks to all of them. And of course, thanks to you for your incredible broadcast, bringing our races to the world. Stam Studio Network, baby.
Means the world to me, Jeremy. Appreciate that, man. Have a great rest of your night. Congratulations once again on the AM category win.
Thanks, Sean.
Believe we have now. Okay, hang on here. Believe Mauricio Marquez Ramos got yourself a copy.
Hello, it's glad to finally be here in the booth.
Hey, welcome in. Congratulations on P2, I believe, in AM category here tonight. You ran one of 3 different McLarens on track here tonight. What was the grip levels like for the 36?
The McLarens for me have really good grip in the turns. And it was just a beast in the brakes, and everything was perfect.
Man, that's a lot of drivers happy with the track conditions here tonight, as well as track conditions, as well as the grip levels as well. Mauricio, nice work here tonight. After starting, I believe it was 9th, you work your way up to 7th. What was it like battling, as well as even gaining a few positions here tonight at a track that looked pretty hard to pass?
Yeah, as you said, it was pretty tough to pass, but I think I was able to make opportunities around the racetrack. And yeah.
Well said there, Mauricio. Congrats once again on the podium finish. Top 2 for you tonight. Who we thanking? Who makes it all possible?
Well, I'd like to thank just my family, who are always there to support me, and they're always watching. They're probably watching right now.
Woohoo!
And I'd like to thank you for putting up a great broadcast. I always watch it after the race, and just Fendi and Rubber Duck Racing for just supporting me.
Well said there, Mauricio. Appreciate that. That goes a long way. Thank you, Mauricio, friends, and family for also joining in. This Rubber Duck Racing driver makes podium finish here tonight. Real quick before I head out here to Cotton Bowl Speedway for some drone and some broadcast work out there for their racing, we have, I believe, Federico in here tonight, our third, it says second, there you go, third place winner in the AM category here tonight. Oh, no, we don't. No, I set it up. Okay, well, anyways, regardless, I appreciate you all joining in here. It's nights. I got to get going here, but thank you all. I'll see you guys back to back broadcast tomorrow night. So it's Super Formula Light Racing and then 2 ovals. So make sure you join us there. Stam Studio Network. My name's Sean Stam up here, director, producing, and commentating everything here. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, and possibly keep your eyes glued on the channel here tonight. I might be bringing you some Cotton Bowl Speedway footage there. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch you next time.
No way.